Last weekend, we went away to Atletico Criosa to play the only team that we had not yet played in our division.
Good quality.
We knew that it was going to be a difficult match with the team sitting in a very strong position in the league, but we felt as if we were the ones who were in the better run of form. But like many of the better Spanish teams that we've played so far this season, they matched that physical quality with a high level of technical ability, with good first touches, and really played their pitch very, very well. We played the exact same formation as we had been in the previous games. Myself, I played right midfield with Noah behind me at right back. Myself and Noah struggled to pin down what the opposition were doing in possession during the first 15-20 minutes of the game, and we gave up a couple of chances. Within the first 10 minutes of the match, we conceded a goal. I didn't deal with the run of the winger and didn't pass him on to Noah in the correct way. And to be fair to the player, he finished well. It was a battle during the rest of the game, and during the first half, we knew that it wasn't going to be easy, especially in the way that they played. They played their pitch very well. It was very small and very difficult for us to play out the back. So in the end, we ended up going long, and we had a little bit of joy, but it's not really the style of football that we like to play at our club. Nevertheless, we did create a few chances, and there were a couple of moments when we did get the ball down and we did link up and create a couple of opportunities to go forwards. A couple of our players had a few moments of individual quality as well, with Ray striking a very good shot from the edge of the box, and with Ethan, our captain, driving forwards on the left-hand side. About 25 minutes, 30 minutes into the first half, we win a corner, Ray whips in a ball, and Dale finishes his third goal in 2 games. We get a little lift, we feel rejuvenated by that goal, and we return to battling, but we don't set the tone for the rest of the team from the back. I think we were a little bit rushed, we were a little bit panicked in possession, and we didn't trust each other enough to just play in 2 touches and keep the ball moving. The second goal we conceded was a really disappointing one to concede just before half time. They won a free kick wide towards our left-hand side of the box and whipped in a ball towards the back post, where we simply didn't track our runners and we didn't attack the ball with enough intention, with enough intensity. It was a really simple goal to give up and a really disappointing one to concede before half time, but that's exactly what happens when you don't do your job from set pieces. So we went in at half time knowing that we'd battled fairly well, that it wasn't an easy game at all, and that we'd given a good account of ourselves in the first half, but that we needed to come out with a little bit more confidence in the second half. At half time, our manager Dean, he told us that we needed to be a little bit more aggressive in possession and create more problems for the back four. What we've been doing in the first half was the wingers were staying wide on the touchline when we had the ball, essentially trying to stretch their back four and create gaps for the attacking midfielders to exploit in between that unit. However, what was happening is that because we weren't able to play out of the back, it meant that they were easily able to win their 50-50 duels because they had an overload. So instead, we decided to try and make their back four pinch together, as myself, Emmanuel and Raf played in between the opposition back four. So we tried to get them to pinch in centrally to create space for our fullbacks to overlap and get on the ball. However, once the match resumed, it felt as if the first half essentially just continued. It was a lot of long balls, it was a lot of clearances, it was a lot of knocking the ball in behind and hoping that our attackers could make something out of the game. In the moment that we attempted to make this happen, we played direct into our striker Raf, and he didn't quite make the ball stick. I recognised that we lost the ball and tried to recover in transition and put some pressure on the player with the ball, but he was already ahead of me and faster than me. Dale got a piece of it, but it went through to one of their players and they scored their 3rd goal of the game. Again, a frustrating goal to take, but I think it kind of summarised the game in a way, because they were much more aggressive and much more responsive in those transition moments. We were okay in possession, we were okay out of possession, but in the moment that it switched from ours to theirs or theirs to ours, we were too slow to respond. That being said, we continued to battle in the second half and to be direct and to try and put pressure on their back four. We got a little bit of joy in the moments that we collected second balls and we settled it and tried to link up and play forwards. There was a moment where Noah had a shot from the edge of the box which just sailed over the crossbar, and we did continue to put in that battle against the opposition. Olu, our big striker, came on with about 20 minutes to go and created a lot of problems for the opposition back four. I actually heard them speaking in Spanish and they were worried at the size of him before he even stepped on the pitch. But by that point, it was still an uphill battle. And with about 20 minutes of the match to go, we conceded a throw-in deep into our half, and they decided to take a long throw and we simply did not mark up in the box. It was, again, a piece of really poor defending, really poor organisation, really poor willingness to attack the ball, as a 5'7" player ends up scoring a bicycle kick against us in our own box. It was really disappointing. Just 3 or 4 minutes after we concede the goal from one of their long throws, we concede a corner, and we concede from the corner. As again, we don't do our jobs, we don't track our men, we don't jump up and actually attack the ball, and we essentially get dominated physically in the air. That being said, a characteristic that we've worked hard to develop within our squad and within our team is that we don't give in, we don't let up, even in the face of defeat. 4 or 5 minutes after we conceded from that corner, Ethan whips in a brilliant free kick towards the back post, from which Noah gets pulled back by one of their defenders. The referee blows for a penalty, and Raymond takes the ball under his arm, puts it on the spot, and slots away very coolly, sending the keeper the wrong way. Just 3 or 4 minutes after that, Ethan takes a free kick from the left-hand side of the box, whips it in towards the back post, and it falls to Dale, who scores his 2nd goal of the game, his 4th goal in 2 games now. As much as it was a valiant fight back, unfortunately it was a little bit too late, and the damage had already been done from the poor discipline and the poor organisation from set pieces. But truly, it wasn't just these individual moments that lost us the game. It was also the 1v1 battles that we continue to lose on the pitch. After the match, Dean explained to us that everyone enjoys playing rondos where you have a massive overload and you take touches and you can find feet and the game's easy. But if you want to reach a higher level of football, then you have to be willing to play 1v1. You have to be able to beat the person who's opposite you. And I think that is as true in possession as it is out of possession. You have to be willing to be direct and take risks on the ball. You have to be willing to use your body and be aggressive when you don't have it to win it back. As I mentioned in my previous video, this is an aspect of my own game which I'm continually developing and setting intentions for before I reach training sessions and before I enter matches. And with that in mind, I'm very much looking forward to our match coming up this weekend. We're playing against Campello, this time at home, the team that we played in our first match of the season where we drew 0-0. But we are not the same team that drew 0-0 to Campello in the first game of the season. The intensity in training is far higher, the togetherness between the teammates is far closer, and I'm very confident that we're going to step onto that pitch, and no matter what the result is, we're going to battle and we're going to give everything to get a positive result. However, my next video will not be covering the match against Campello, because this week we also took a trip to Madrid on Wednesday to play a showcase game in front of scouts and in front of coaches. So I'm going to be bringing you a semi-vlog, a semi-reflective video on how that went. If any of you guys have any trials or scouting days coming up soon, then this is a video that you will not want to miss. But until then, ballers, keep working, keep progressing, keep showing yourself forgiveness when you try and take risks and you don't always get the reward. Remember that each failure is an opportunity for learning. Remember that ballers find a way. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. Cheers, mate.
I might be in it.
Cheers. For the cameras, mate.
Team Loki, let's go.